Tonight,
essentially studying
on Your Real World.
About 30 years, and I've uncovered a cross in the south of France that basically predicts, it's a 400-year-old cross built by an alchemist, and it basically predicts that the end of time is going to occur between the years of 1992 and 2012.
Good evening. That was Jay Weidner speaking at the 2012 conference in San Francisco back in 2008. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Jay Weidner, Jay is a renowned author, filmmaker, and Hermetic scholar. He's considered to be a modern-day Indiana Jones for his ongoing worldwide quests to find clues to mankind's spiritual destiny via ancient societies and artifacts. His body of work offers great insight into the circumstances that have led to the current global crisis. He's the producer of the documentary films 2012 The Odyssey, its sequel, Time Wave 2013, and director of the forthcoming feature documentary Infinity, The Ultimate Trip. Jay has written articles for many periodicals and journals over the years, including Alchemil Kubrick 2001, the great work on film, The Ka, The Ba, and the Kabbalah, and Alchemil Secrets, Lord of the Rings, Tolkien at the End of Time. And it's because of the end of time that we're featuring Jay on the show today. As you just heard, the end of this age, not necessarily the end of time, is predicted to happen between 1992 and 2012. Just a couple of years away now. Of course, there are a million conspiracy theories about the doom and destruction that's predicted to happen in 2012. You just have to look at the Hollywood movie that was released, for crying out loud. But what I find more interesting are the facts that he uncovered a couple of years ago that may have devastating effects on this planet in the couple of years to come.
Reading the emotional content of what people are saying, everyone is going to be returned to the country into tribal communities by 2012, and growing your own food is going to be 80% of the work that you do every day. And about 4.5 months ago, for the first time in recorded astronomical history, the sun lost its magnetic field, its heliosphere, it's called. Do you know what the heliosphere is? This is really cool. All right, so here's the sun. And the sun has an electromagnetic field around it. That's its heliosphere, okay? And we're here. We're here in the heliosphere. Here's the Earth, right? Here's Venus. Here's Mercury, right? We're actually in it. And this heliosphere is an electromagnetic field, and everything, all of the gamma rays and synchrotron radiation that's coming from the center of the galaxy, by the way, is bouncing off this heliosphere and really not affecting us, okay? Because we have it. It's a protective layer that the sun has that keeps us safe from radiation. That heliosphere disappeared about 4.5 months ago. So the heliosphere has disappeared, and what's going on is the Ulysses spacecraft, NASA sent a craft up called Ulysses a few years ago, and it registered the amount of particles coming into the solar system, and the particles were overwhelmingly coming into the solar system from the center of the galaxy. And so right now we're being just inundated with all sorts of things that have never, in recorded history since Galileo, have come in to the Earth. I don't know what this means. I'm just telling you that it's a weird coincidence that all these things are happening at once. For the first time in recorded history, we don't have this protective layer around us. The sun is and the analogy that I use is that the center of the galaxy is like the great goddess, and the sun is our protective father, and our protective father has kind of disappeared, and the information from the center of the galaxy is now getting through, which is eerily close to the Mayans' prophecies and their whole thing about the center of the galaxy lining up with the sun. And we don't know if any of this is actually a coincidence or what. We just know that it's happening.
Now you might think, well, who made him the expert on celestial phenomena? But the story is quite true. In fact, here is a newspaper report from the UK Telegraph from back in October of 2008, which confirms his story. NASA's website also confirms this. So this got me to thinking. If the sun's heliosphere really is shrinking or weakened to the point where it's no longer protecting the Earth, then perhaps there's a very good reason why the powers that be have built such things as the Doomsday Vault, which we reported on previous shows. Also, it could also be true that the HART project is not a sinister one, as most people have speculated so far, and as we have reported on as well, but perhaps it's been designed to help defend the Earth in the event of excessive gamma radiation coming into the Earth, possible asteroids or celestial objects bombarding the Earth. Perhaps the reason for the HART project is actually a defense for the Earth. It's food for thought, but it just occurred to me. But of course, if you go to NASA's website and look up their Q&A on 2012, they completely dismiss everything. And I have a few quotes to read for you here. There is no credible evidence for any of the assertions made in support of unusual events taking place in December of 2012, they write. The question was also posed to NASA, does the Mayan calendar end in December 2012? NASA responded, just as the calendar you have on your kitchen wall does not cease to exist after December 31st, the Mayan calendar does not cease to exist on December 21st, 2012. This date is the end of the Mayan long count period, but then just as your calendar begins again on January 1st, another long count period begins for the Mayan calendar. So really, who are you to believe? Ultimately, it's the powers that be that know the real truth, and in the event that there is some sort of a disaster, they are the only ones that will know in advance and will be able to save themselves. Fortunately, it's not all bad news, because Jay Weidner predicts that this is not really the end of time as such, but more the end of this age, and that we're heading into the Golden Age. We're coming from the Iron Age, and we're heading into the Golden Age, where the world will return to a more simpler, rural, basic type of living. Take a look.
Right. So this is a torus, right? The energy is coming down in a spiral. It hits a null point in the center, comes back down through, comes around, comes back down through, okay? This is around your body. This is around the Earth. The sun has it, although it's collapsed now. So the sun does not have this anymore, very interestingly, all right? So, in alchemy and in the Yuga system, we divide time into 4 phases. We'll just simplify it. It's the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. And we're in the Iron Age right now. This is the hardest time to be alive, according to these alchemists and Hindus. And the Golden Age lasts a really long time, and it's wonderful, and everybody's happy. And then things begin to slip in the Silver Age. Then in the Bronze Age, they start getting nasty. And in the Iron Age, they really get nasty. So when you're in the Iron Age, everything is speeding up. Each second is faster than the second before. Each minute is faster than a minute before. You think you don't have any time. You're in a panic state, and you don't know what to do. You have to say, well, what is it that we have to do? And the first thing is, right now, today, everybody here must become self-reliant. There's no Messiah that's going to come save us. There's nobody that's going to come save us. We've got to come to grips with that. There's no politicians. There's nobody that's going to save us. Only we are going to save ourselves, and we're going to do it with our wits and our intelligence and our ingenuity.
But as always on this show, we want you to do your own research, draw your own conclusions, and above all, open your eyes and your mind to what's happening in your real world. Good night.